Hey, g'day everybody. Welcome back to Atlas Updates. And they've dropped a new video, which I'll put a link down in the description so that you can go and see it yourself. They basically tweeted it out, shoved it up on their Discord, and they have a YouTube video up of the introduction to Tradewinds and a few other things. And we're going to go through that in a sec. But the exciting thing, which has been taken them forever to actually nail down a good date, but the 28th of April, 7 days for me, they are going to have a wipe, which will actually introduce the new Tradewind update. So let's jump into the video and we'll pause along the way and talk about what we see in the video. Alright, new ship customizations. Pause it right there. So what you can see here in the picture is the rails. The rails look like they have new attachment pieces where you can actually put things like a baluster. And look what else they actually have. You've got cannons, so on deck cannons, the dinghy, and there's still a dinghy on the other side. I wonder if they'll actually have the rail attachment as something like the diving suit as well. Oh, there is there, the diving suit. So yes, catapult, nice. So yeah, we can see there that we're going to have some kind of a customization of at least the rails of the ships. I suspect it'll probably only be that, but that's fine. They're actually starting to show some of the modular system and how it will actually play out, which will be good to see how it actually works. Although I can already see in my head how it actually is going to happen. But yes, have to wait and see, but it's exciting that the customizations and the modular system is starting to actually get released, and we'll all get to have a little bit of a glimpse of what's going on. Platform saddles. This is crazy looking. I love to look at that one. Let's actually jump back to that. Yeah, look at that. Look how high it sits on the creature. I mean, it looks really smooth. I actually like that it doesn't look like it doesn't fit on the creature. Looks quite good in that regard. Very high platform, and we can see basically I assume they're cannons. There could be something else. But let's have a look at the different creatures. We've got the crab with its platform saddle. In this case, we've got a couple of baluster. Elephant with some puckles. And here we get to see the crab in action, eh? No, elephant. One of these actually is where it shows a little bit of action. Oh, there we go, look at the shots. Explosive shots with different colours. A creature coming out of the water. So yes, platform saddles on creatures. It's going to probably change the face of how a lot of things are done, given that if you have big platform saddles there where it's very much depicted that you're going to have walking siege creatures, essentially. And you sort of combine that with the recent patch where we got included with like the lawless claim towers and things like that. And now we've got siege creatures where you can actually take on settlements, essentially, to try and knock out some of those things. You have to wonder if they're moving away from... you have to wonder what they're actually going to include with the base defenses. Because with a walking siege base like that, I can assume that if you would have lots of those with a big company, you would be able to wreak a fair bit of havoc against a smaller company and whatever they may actually have. So it'll be interesting to see how the face of the game is actually changed by that. Because they might be actually looking for more fast-paced combat. And depending on the cost of these things, it will really show where things are going to go. Because they made the ships quite expensive, and yet they want it to be more naval combat orientated. And now we're going to have these land-based siege weaponry, which also is going to be quite interesting to see what the cost of them are. Who knows? But it's going to be... it looks very different to the game that I've been playing before. And I'd be interested to hear what the PvP people out there actually think of the siege weaponry, especially on Thames. It's going to be fun to see how everybody reacts and how the game actually pans out with it all. Alright, and the Tradewinds. So the lanes of wind that are actually faster. You can see here that it's got a little bit of an overlay there with the previous ship, but you can see that it's a slightly different colour on the map. And you would assume that as long as you're within that blue stuff, you will move a lot faster. Now, it looks really unrealistic, but I would assume that that's actual speed and actual footage of the ship basically tearing along. And I did like when I saw this one. I actually want to see what it's like If you're in the Tradewind with a ramming ship and you're going full tilt like that, what's it going to be like when you hit something? And the fact that the ships of the dams are actually able to sit in the Tradewinds, and do they benefit from the Tradewinds or do they just sit in it? Who knows? But crazy stuff. Looks like there's basically in 7 days' time we're going to have a very, very big patch, and there's going to be lots of stuff for people to play around with, which might change the dynamic very, very crazily. April 28th. Now, I just need to decide what server I'm going to play on, and whether I bother jumping in and help out a PvP company with, as basically someone that does some building in the background and help them and potentially partake in some of the PvP, or whether I jump in on the PvE server and try and stake my claim and work with other companies to actually defeat content. Albeit that there's only a bit of content these days with the few bosses that there are. Decisions to be made, but let me know what you think down in the comments of the upcoming patch, and what you're excited for and what you're not excited for. Alright, let's see where this all goes.